What's going on, football fans? It's me, J.R. Clark, back again with another Pound for Pound ATL Live. As always, joined by my main man, Toby D. Man, Toby, we did it. We finally did it.
Yes, sir.
To the thanks and admiration to all the people, all the subscribers, but we finally hit over 5K, and man, that's an awesome feeling.
Boy, it couldn't have come at a better time. I thought we might do it and before the season, but man, to do it this early before the season, that was definitely not something I saw coming. And thanks to everybody who supported the last video that we put out because that really took us over the top right there. And we
Mm-hmm.
were really appreciative everybody who subscribed after watching that last video we did on the OTAs. So man, we're very thankful for that. Thankful to everybody who also shared on Twitter.
That's right.
Um, y'all know who y'all are, to get us up there and where we need to be. Man, we're here.
And not that it necessarily changes much of anything, for us or for how we do things, but it was that one of those like mental milestones that you kind of set. One of the first ones was breaking 1,000, and then after that was 3,000, and then 5,000, and that has been it's been a fun ride for two guys that are are just like y'all. Like, yeah, everybody, like, people make that statement, but it's true. Me and Toby, we work a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and we're fans. You can tell by the amount of like stuff that it has behind each one of us, as far as memorabilia and all that jazz. So like it's as a passion and a fandom for as much for us as it is for y'all. And so, for y'all to lock in like y'all have, and getting us to 5,000 has been an awesome ride. Now, I will, like, precursor, there's some pretty like gnarly weather going on right now. So if all of a sudden the stream drops, it may be because of power, or I don't know. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there just for those who are watching. But now I want to get into a little bit of the OTA stuff that we did see. Like, we did do a video, and we did a very like extensive breakdown of the footage that I was able to shoot while I was there. So if y'all haven't checked that out, please feel free to go ahead and check that out. And there, our buddy Woon Carter has already he's tipped us $5, which we appreciate. He says,
Look,
"Rise up, pound for pound family. Great Tuesday. Let's get this channel to 6K.
let's go.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's glad to be here
oh,
this evening. Let's win." Exactly, man. It's awesome. And like I said, we'll say it plenty of times, and we try to say as much as we can. We can't do this without y'all. Like, without y'all, it's just me and Toby talking on the phone.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, but anyway, uh, man, okay, so being there at OTAs, it had an interesting feeling in the building. Like the players that were there seemed to be have a little bit more like bouncing their steps, so to speak. I don't know if it's like certain players feeling like they're getting a shot now, or if it's like second year under the system. Even Grady Jarrett, like, it was real cool to see Grady at the end of the practice when everybody come up to the when all the players come up to the bench area to sign autographs. um like, you could see Grady even kind of directing the other players, like
Mm.
he had he made sure Michael Walker went over and signed a little dude's jersey or ball or whatever, because they were trying to get Michael Walker's attention. So like that leadership of his was so important, and I'm so glad that they retained him.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, having more youngsters in the building definitely brings some re-energizing, right? I mean, and then look at your quarterbacks. I
Right.
mean, man, we love Matt Ryan, but now you got a 28-year-old and a
Young buck.
21-year-old, both of them young, right? Young and vibrant
Right.
and mobile, and so that makes a difference. I mean, like the last video I did a while back talking about re-energizing. the building, and you're sensing that these guys, they don't believe in that, we're gonna lose
Uh-uh.
type of mentality. They're not. They're gonna be, naive when it comes to something like that. The fan base might be talking about that, but not them.
No, that much is for sure. They definitely have, like, it's the coach's job to get the players ready to win and believing they can win, and it's the GM's job to stack the cover, so to speak, for them to be able to win. Now they may not be there yet, but like you said, you definitely can't tell that via the coach and the players. Um, and it's going to be real interesting as we move through this off season. Like, we're in mandatory OTA time now. I think our mandatory OTAs either started today or start tomorrow. I'm not 100%.
Well, is it? I think it's next weekend, the 14th through the 16th.
Is it next? Okay.
Yeah,
And I think you're right. I think you're right.
yeah.
I think they're still in the voluntary phase right now. But when you get the mandatory stuff, like, that's when you should get Casey Hayward back in the building, Cordell Patterson back in the building, and I think there was somebody else that was not here for voluntary. It was one of the older guys, but you'll have those guys back in the building. All the rookies, really getting to fully mesh in with the vets. So it'll be interesting to see how, like, all that starts to progress. And
Yeah.
go ahead.
hmm No, I was going to say I love the clips that they're putting out. Like I said, it just, I guess, having more youngsters in the building. That's just telling my age that I'm getting old, y'all. But
Me and
um,
you both going, Lord.
if you want a football player, what else? What do you see yourself doing? And you got Frank Darby, who's kind of been like the star of all the clips, and talking about he'd be a dancer, and then you got the clips where who would you not let date your sister,
Yep.
and that was a funny one. But I love that they're doing that and really getting these guys more together. You heard Kyle Pitts talking about they're hanging out a lot more together as a team, and you always hear coaches talking that about the more together you are. Dan Quinn would always preach that a lot. The more together you are, the better the team would be. So let's see if
Yeah.
that's what happens.
And I think there was a good bit of uncertainty last year, with, like, you can go back to, Ryan sitting on his couch watching the draft, wondering if, they were fixing to draft his replacement or not. So I think there was a lot of uncertainty with the veteran guys. Like, it was the first year without Julio Jones in the building. Calvin Ridley seeming to have needing to step away. And then I'm not going to get into what he did while he was gone. But, needing to step away, that, like, had a vibe. It just, like, it seemed like last year everything was put together with, like, duct tape and band-aids, and it seems like this year they have a more coherent plan of what they're trying to do. Like, you could see that with the type of receivers they're bringing in. You could see that with the statements that Arthur Smith made about, getting closer to camp and bringing in more O linemen or D linemen as we get closer to being able to have pads on. Talking about, like, the reason why they're stacked up on receiver right now is because that's one of the things that you can get a better feel for at this time of year, which is an interesting statement. I don't think I've ever really heard a coach say that before.
Well, you need to find the right receivers that fit your quarterbacks that you have in the room now.
Right.
In the room now. So being able to find those receivers that are able to, from a technique standpoint, gel with what the quarterbacks are able to do is going to benefit you a lot when you're able to, find those guys that's going to gel going into camp. That'll be able to do the things you need them to do. Like you saw the adjustment that Brian Edwards made off of Mariota throw. But see, now those are things that him and Ritter would be able to do without having to be so self-conscientious of how deep they can throw it. Throw that ball up and let your guys make a play on them 50-50 balls, because you got plenty of guys who can do it.
Exactly. And that's exactly right. You got guys that can go up and make that contested catch, who can high point the ball over a smaller cornerback, and once with those guys get on the same page, it's going to be really interesting to see, like, one of the things that we highlighted in that video was motioning Kyle Pitts to the same side of the field in a bunch formation with Drake London. And I think it was who was the other? I couldn't see who the front of the other receiver was. Somebody, my mind just went completely blank on it. It wasn't Edwards.
Like it was Brian.
Was it Brian Edwards?
I couldn't really.
I thought it was one of the
Like
smaller guys, but I could be completely wrong on that. But anyway, the whole concept of motioning Pitts over into a bunch with Drake London, and a slot receiver. Now that's a matchup nightmare for defenses, and I only saw London make one real error, and I don't even know if that was really on London. It seemed like it could have been a choice route, as you were explaining, and he saw it going inside. Mariota saw him going outside. So that stuff just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of refinement. And this is all doing this right now without Cordell Patterson there. Like, because Tony Wright brings up in chat, he says, JR, why not move Cordell Patterson to wide receiver full time as our number 2 and start rookie Tyler Algier? I think the matchups are going to dictate what you do with Cordell Patterson.
Right.
That's how I see that. That's how I feel that's going to be. Like, this year he may spend more time at wide receiver than he did last year. Last year he was at running back almost by necessity because you really couldn't get anything going. If they can't get nothing going this year, then he'll probably spend a lot of time at running back. But, I feel pretty good about Tyler Algier. I feel pretty good about Quadre Olison. I'm not so high on Damian Williams as of yet, but I feel like that could be a decent a group along with Jeremy McNichols. So, yes, you may end up by default having Cordell Patterson play in the slot more. Heck, he even lined up as a tight end last year.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they want to do with him, is just continue to, exploit matchups.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's going to come down to who makes your quarterbacks look good.
Right.
And that's going to determine who that running back room is going to be, just like, with the wide receivers. You got me sold on Tyler. I do believe that Tyler could very well sneak in and be that all-purpose, all-down back for the Atlanta Falcons in his rookie year. One of the reasons is because you and I looked at the stat from college, 79 first downs.
Right.
Right? And we were a terrible first down team last season. I'm talking about to the tune of bottom 4 out of 32 teams.
Oh.
So able to have a guy like Tyler Algier to give you that flexibility on first down, because really that's where your balance comes in at. We were lopsided.
Yes.
Over 64% passes on first down percentage. And I know Matt Ryan likes to throw it all over the field, but guess what that do? That makes you predictable when teams know you're going to throw the ball 64 to 65% of the time on first down.
That's right. They're able to, plaster receivers. They know, by knowing that, they're able to pin their ears back and come at you on first down instead of having to maybe second guess whether you're going to run or not. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the play calling reflects now, maybe getting closer to that balance that Arthur Smith had in his 2 years in Tennessee. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that lays out. I want to jump into the chat real quick and see where y'all are at, see what y'all are talking about. CK22 says, yo, hope all is well. Congrats on 5K. Appreciate that. Yes, all has been pretty well. Good buddy Jaden Scheffler's in here. He says, what's up, guys? What's going on, Jaden? Floyd Donnelly says, what's up, fellas? Juke, man, you watching it. Same thing with Bubba Gump and Brandon Tucker. Our good buddy Chris Jameson is in here. He's one of our loudest supporters on Twitter. We appreciate that big time. Him and William Carter are all about, promoting us there, which we appreciate. Let's see. Tim D says, what's up, boys? What's going on, Tim? Billy Ellis says, awesome. I finally catch a live show. I am so glad that you did. I'm glad that you caught one. Ryan says 9 to 5 at the office. Let's go. Exactly. Me and Toby. Well, Toby's in an office now because Toby's a bigwig. I
Shoot, I was
I'm still out in the warehouse sweating, but Toby's over there kicking it with all the important people, as he should be. As he should be. He's an important fella. Christian says, "What's up?" and congrats. Thank you very much. Uh, Brandon Tucker says, "Love the way this team is shaping up. The future is bright." It is a very interesting the way this team is coming together. Uh, like I said, like we alluded to earlier, the coaches pretty much said the final 53 isn't on the field yet. They're not at Flowery Branch yet. So I don't think we're done. It'd be interesting to see who else they bring in. Dexter Vlash says he was thanking Moon Carter for our tip as well. So Tony Wright says, JR and Toby, how is everything? Let's talk some football. And I have some questions this season. I am so glad you're here, Tony. So glad. Our buddy Nick says, does our O-line fit a mobile QB better? Yes, it does. A mobile QB can make an average to bad offensive line look average to good. Okay. Now, you're still going to have the Russell Wilson situation, the Deshaun Watson situation where they're out there running for their lives. So you don't want to bank on that. Like, you still want to be able to protect them. But being able to move the pocket and keep the defensive guessing with misdirections and stuff like that, RPOs, all that jazz. This scheme fits a mobile quarterback and better than a standard, straight drop back quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tony Wright says, Toby, now that we did not sign Akeem Hicks, what is your take on who will start opposite Grady Jarrett at DN? Do you think it would be Marlon Davidson or Taquan Graham?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It is.
You got Vincent Taylor that still is not at camp right now because he's rehabbing.
That's the other guy.
I'm curious to see what is able to do next to Grady Jarrett, and I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to do some things. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, Tony, because one of the things Arthur Smith said that they have to do is get more interior pass rush. So I'm curious, even though they missed out on Akeem Hicks, are they going to trade for someone else? Because if they're putting a premium on getting more interior pass rush, that also kind of hints to me that they're really this time taking it serious about making sure Grady Jarrett, one of their star players, has success this year as opposed to last season. So Dean Pease, you better get on it,
right.
Doc.
And also remember, still sitting out on the wire is Eddie Golden, the nose tackle of the Bears. So I know we have Anthony Rush as probably our true nose tackle right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if they brought in a guy like a Goldman to like battle with Rush at that position, because you didn't bring back Tyler Davidson, thank God, and you didn't bring back Jonathan Bullard or Mike Pennell. So that tells me you feel pretty good about what Rush gave you. But they may be wanting to add somebody there as well. But as far as pressure goes, there's still guys like edge guys still out there with JPP, Ryan Kerrigan, some of the older edge guys, which might not be a bad idea. Like with right now, the seasoned veteran is Lorenzo Carter, who's still kind of young in the league himself. So like adding in another like veteran edge rusher might not be such a bad idea. Whether they might be looking to see if D Ford might get. Sounds like he's going to get released from San Francisco, so that might be somebody they want to kick the tires on there if he's healthy.
Yeah, it definitely should be some moves made after these OTAs, and they watching their film and stuff, and not the mandatory minicamp, because they'll get a chance to see probably some skill positions. Some guys at some skill positions are going to get cut that did not shine with the shorts practices.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see who gets cut and who they bring in to try to keep bolstering up the trenches, man, because I mean, yeah, I do believe that offensive line could be better this year with mobility, especially if you're more unpredictable on first downs, because that'll put you in better other down and distance situations
Right.
advantage. And if you can stay out of third down, which we've seen Arthur Smith do when they got it going, he will call explosive second down plays that will keep them out of them third downs, and they get into first down very quickly.
Right.
So hopefully he has the offense to allow him to do that this year.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. If they can stay ahead of the chains like that, that keeps the defense guessing, and that's the name of the offensive game. And that's the scheme that Arthur Smith runs. It's that misdirection. It's that uh, being able to do multiple things out of the same personnel package. Being able to run that two tight end out there, and on one down, run it down your throat. The next down with the same formation, hit you over the top with Kyle Pitts. Like that's
Yeah.
that's what he's trying to do, is have that quote unquote positionless offense to where they can run just about whatever they want to run out of whatever formation they want to run it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's the key. That's what we're going for. Let's see. I think we just answered that. Nick Bangalow says more RPOs and read options. Me like. Yeah, we're gonna see that kind of. You're gonna see a new brand of football in Atlanta, like straight up and down. Like you haven't seen this type of football that you're about to see since, well, for the past 15 years. You know, so, and you didn't really see it with Vic because, like, yeah, Vic ran, but they tried to make Vic a pocket passer because the league had yet to adopt the, like, viability of a running quarterback. So you're going to get to see more of that this year for sure. So let's see. Billy says, in order for this team to run the ball, this O-line is going to have to change personnel. The current line isn't going to get it done. They have brought in some interesting pieces, like that may fit their scheme a little bit better, with like Jermaine Ifedi at right tackle over McGarry, possibly. My biggest question mark is still like left guard, honestly. But there was a tweet out there like a week or so ago where they said like guys who come in and switch positions, like from left tackle to guard or right tackle to guard, they take the biggest jump in year two. So that might be what they're banking on, or they might finally actually bring in some competition. What I would like to see is them bring in a legitimate center myself, because I think the best way to make Mayfield look better is to bookend him in between two stalwart veterans, like a J.C. Treader and Jake Matthews. And I think that would be the best way to get them looking better. But
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that run game goes, man. I don't know the offensive line. Yeah, that's still a concern, man. But I'm just gonna trust in what Arthur Smith and Dave are gonna cook up and see if it works.
that's all we can do at this point, really. And hopes that they bring somebody in the before we get to training camp. All right, let's see here. Walter Matz says, I'm ready to see the identity of this team. That's one of the things that I want to come away this season. I want to know, like, what type of team we really are. Because, like, at the end of last season, I didn't have a good feeling of like, what we were, as a team. So that's one of my expectations, is to be able to come out of this knowing, like, okay, we're this type of a physical team. And, what do we need to do to make that type of a physical team better?
Yeah.
I want to see a more competitive team this year. I keep saying that to anybody that asks me, oh, how many wins or losses? I ain't worried about that. Not really. What I want to see is a team that takes a competitive step forward is what I'm looking for. Paul Stevens says, Dirty Birds in the Dirty South, Falcons 7-10. I mean, that would be an improvement. No, That's what we finished with last year, right? 7 wins. But I'll say this: 7 wins on a tougher schedule, I'd be okay with that, especially if they look good in some of those 10 losses. You know. King7 says, P for P family, what's going on? What's up, King? He says, a bit late, but I made it, man. Hey, we're just glad you're here, brother. We are just glad you're here. Frank Rose says, we need to add to the O-line. Right now, that's still my biggest concern. King says, fellas, one thing I was kind of concerned about with our team being so young, who takes the leadership role? I see the reporters asked a couple players this, and they seem not ready to take it on. I think that's why it was important to get Grady Jarrett back under contract.
All right.
Not
Jake Matthews.
Right. Not just under contract, but like locked up and buying in. Like Grady Jarrett has a much better attitude in a sense. Like when his body language when he's talking to reporters is a lot better than it was at times last year. So, and I don't think that's just money related. I think he was, cautiously trying to see what this new coaching staff was. Because you got to remember, for Grady, this is his first staff switch, in the NFL. And this is the first time he's ever had to go through that. So I think last year he was more reserved, just kind of waiting and seeing what they were going to do. And, he likes what, with the limited resources that we had, he likes what they did in the offseason. He's pretty much said that. So I think getting him back is going to be big for the defense. Getting him back and buying in is going to be big. Let's see. Walter says, why does Terrence Mathis sound bitter when he's talking about our team? I have no clue. I must have missed that soundbite or something. Did you catch any kind of Terrence Mathis?
I didn't, so I don't know what he's saying there, because I haven't caught anything. Terrence Mathis, you have to elaborate on that.
If you got an actual quote or something. But anyway, so Jay Black says, what about Vincent Taylor as our nose tackle? Vincent Taylor is he's a big guy, but he's like that 5-eye or 4-eye kind of. No, 2-eye. That's what he's not a straight up nose tackle, but I think he could play that.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
He's your 2-tech guy.
Yeah. I don't know why I went 4-eye. Good Lord.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, that's more where I see him at. And I think, that would be a great fit for him. And you can dominate there in that 2-tech spot, that Geno Atkins, those guys.
Right, exactly. We're going to keep it on rolling. Our buddies out of your Falcon mind are in chat. I don't know if they're still here, but he says, just dropping in to say, hey, my dudes. Got to do another show together this summer. We definitely got to catch up this summer. He says, keep killing it. That is our plan. Good buddy Jonathan Holder says, 5K, nice, congrats. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Let's see. Woon Carter says, everybody please hit the like and share button. So y'all are better promoters than me and Toby are. But yeah, hit that like and share button and tell your folks about it. If you got Falcons fans that don't listen or subscribe, let them know, man. We trying to do something, I guess you could say. Let's see. CK22 says, would love to see another impactful player added to either side of the line. If we could simply improve in the trenches, we possess the size and physicality around them to be very intimidating in 22. And I think that's going to be the ultimate goal, really. Fontenot, his time in New Orleans, they like big players. The Dean Pease likes big players on the defense. Arthur Smith obviously likes big players on the offense. So, yeah, the fast and physical finesse team is slowly going the way of the dodo here in Atlanta.
That's the hope. Right. It's no guarantee. Yeah, who we play our first preseason game?
First Detroit, yes.
That's where it starts. if that identity does not show up in that first game, we're gonna have a problem when you get to New Orleans, because New Orleans is, I don't care who's coaching that team, they are going to be up and ready to out physical the Atlanta Falcons. So it starts with Detroit first.
Yep.
You better show that identity right there quickly.
Exactly. And I think, Arthur learned his lesson by not playing guys last year. I don't think you'll see that this year. I think they were also trying to navigate that 3 preseason game thing. So he's doing 2 joint practices. He's already said he's going to be playing folks. Like, he's definitely feels like he's learned his lesson there. Let's see. Mark Turner says, please send message Mark urgent to Terry to grab Treader now. Yeah, if I had Terry's email, I'd be blowing him up every day to sign JC Treader. Tony Wright says the reason being Grady Jarrett has a much better attitude is that he sees the talent that we've picked up and drafted around him. I think that has a lot to do with it. The vision has become clearer. And I think that was the thing last year is they were he probably felt like they were asking him and the team to do things that they weren't necessarily well suited for. Well, now you're seeing that churning, that makeover, start to really happen in earnest this year.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, when he said he should hopefully now be able to use 100% of the playbook.
Yes.
Man, that got me excited. Let's go.
Right. I mean, when you have, AJ Terrell a year in the system, you bring in another stalwart cornerback in Casey Hayward, that now allows Dean Pease to do some of the things that he wants to do. You're getting your nickel guy back in Isaiah Oliver, who, by the way, he wasn't playing in the 7-on-7 stuff, but in all the other drills, Isaiah Oliver looked real nice out there on Friday, moving around. So he had a knee brace on, but he looked good. And there were times that he'd actually taken that knee brace off. So very encouraged about him. Noah E says, will Watson play football this season? We were talking about that pre-show. Man.
Wow.
Man. Yeah. I understood. I said it then. I'll say it again. I understood why you went after him. But, buddy, I feel like we dodged a bullet there. At least this year. Giving up everything that the Browns gave up, pick-wise, $230-something million fully guaranteed, and it just as the days go on, it sounds like it's worse and worse.
Yeah, boy,
so,
I tell you,
I'm
just study.
Yeah, I'll stick with the mature leadership of Ritter and the calm collected of Mariota. I'll be very happy with that right now, because man. The Browns have got a mess on their hands. Let's see. Okay. Keep it on rolling. Philip Bonner just tipped us $10, which we appreciate. He says, congrats to 5K, gentlemen. Well deserved. Y'all are some of the best in the podcast game. We appreciate those kind words. We just try to do what we can do and be consistent with what we do. Bean Bambino says, I really think Anthony Rush will play well. He showed flashes of great play last year. He was very, he was very consistent, and he's still pretty young too.
Yeah, very.
So,
yeah,
if he shows another good solid year, I could see him getting locked up. Which would be great.
Hey, if we can get that Jacksonville game, Anthony Rush.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got something.
Yes, sir. Let's see. A-Love says, hey, good people, and thanks for your show. So far, so good. Would y'all like to talk to y'all after the show about possibly joining us? Just send us an email, brother. Pound for pound ATL. That's pound for pound ATL at gmail.com. Send us an email, and that's all I can say at this junction. King says, don't know if you guys talked about this already, but have you heard of the Falcons trying Felipe Franks at tight end? I ain't heard about it, bro. I watched it.
He was there.
Yes, sir. I ain't heard about it. I was one of the first people I saw tweeting about it. Like, that man came out in a white jersey. Like, he didn't play, like, when practice first started, he was over there kind of hanging out with, talking to Mariota and Ritter. But when practice got, like, actually going in earnest, he went over to the tight ends. Like, and that's where he stayed the rest of the afternoon. So,
Yeah.
like, this is a full-on conversion, which doesn't surprise me for an undrafted guy who's trying to make the
Yeah.
team.
Mm-hmm.
The more you show you can do, the better chance you have of sticking. So, and he ran a pretty decent deep route.
Oh, that was a deep corner,
Yeah.
man, and that's our money routes. I call it our money route because we ran that a lot.
Right.
Them deep corner routes, and he ran a nice deep corner route, but he just got a technique wise catch better, because the speed is there. You saw the speed. Like, I wasn't even there live, but I could see the speed off the clip.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was up and going.
Yeah.
He says, false start. Okay, Archangel says, rise up, fellas. What's going on, Ark? False start Falcon says, I think a few teams on our schedule will take a step back. People are down on us just the way I love it. Yeah, there ain't no expectations going into the season as much as for sure. Like, I got none. Like, I used to say I kind of had none, but you always felt like they could make the playoffs. But I got no expectations this year. Let's see. Archangel says, got to start the starters this year for sure. Yeah, in preseason they better. They better. Nick says, no such thing as an easy or hard schedule. It changes yearly, man. A team that looked good last year could fall apart, so on and so forth. So it is what it is. Let's see. Billy says, can't wait till the preseason to see a little bit of what we have. Yeah, I'm interested because we might actually do what we did last year and like live stream the preseason games because 2 of them are on the road, only 1 of them's here. So if that's something that y'all are interested in, that might be something we do like we did last year. Let's see. Tony says, and as I said a while ago, the city of Atlanta doesn't need Deshaun Watson. That would have cost the team a fortune and been a public relations nightmare. Yeah, like I said, man, I all in all, I think we dodged a bullet there, to be completely honest. Let's see. Antoine Wartime TV says, yeah, we dodged a bullet. J-Dog says, what's good, fellas? Hey, man, we're just sitting here talking about the Falcons, Jay. Tribe says, Pound, he says, should we go and get Julio back? No.
No.
I'm good, dog. I actually kind of like our receiving core where we're at right now.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Arthur wants all his guys on the field practicing at all times. Yep. They're not looking to give anybody any rest days, like not a lot anyway. They give some, but you're going to be practicing more times than not.
That's right. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Is like he wants his guys out there and he wants them them engaged in practicing. He's not too interested in like veteran days, kind of deal. Let's see. YMOF Jamal says, what's up, Pound for Pound family? What's going on, man? Braves Falcons Hawks Braves fan extraordinaire says 0 expectations from me. I think that's a good spot to be in right now. Like let them show you what they are. The hip hopper, I think I said that right. He says, at least we have consistency with coaches this year. We do. And that's like, now let's see what they gonna bring to the table. Love says, if you look at the last 5 games, that was always a safety single high and everybody else was down in the box. I think I must have missed some other comment up above. Let's see. Iron Mike says, congrats on 5K. 5K. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Bubba Gump says, Julio's old man needs to go play shuffleboard on Sundays. Oh, Lord, shuffleboard.
Reduce them to shuffleboard?
Yeah, ain't nobody even talking about Julio, though. Like I think he's going to be just one of those, unfortunately, unceremoniously drifts off into retirement. I could be wrong on that, but like Like when you see like these free agent lists, people barely even mention him. So King Seven
Yeah,
says
that's
the
kind
only reason I want Julio back is so he can teach KP some crazy routes with his quickness and size. Uh, yeah, but yeah, who knows? Like it'd be interesting. But you're running that from different positions though. You know, like I don't know if Julio Jones would be teaching Kyle Pitts much as far as maybe about body control. I don't know. Jared says, "Yo, P for Fee finally caught alive. Glad to be here. We're glad you're here." Tony says, "I like our outside linebacker rotation of Carter, Ogundeji, Ebiketie, Angelo Malone as backups. Yeah, dude, that's a nice rotation. That's a far better rotation than we had last year. Now, I know in that rotation you're banking on 2 rookies, but you're banking on 2 very productive rookies. So I'm being interested in how their game translates." Isaac says Julio did this to himself. Yeah. And J Dog says his hamstrings are gone, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. Like he played what, 4 games last year?
and
Yeah.
I can't even tell you, but
So yeah.
yeah.
Our good buddy Ronnie is in here. Says, "What's up, Pound for Pound family? Congratulations again. Thank you, Ronnie. We appreciate that. And if y'all get a chance, go check out the Around the Block guys. Ronnie is a part of that. They're bringing that podcast back. They do a good job over there. So go check them out, Ronnie. If you want to put out your Twitter on here or some way that they can find that Around the Block." Let's see. Lost Falcon says, "Congratulations on 5K. Looking forward to our defense this year." Yeah, I think the defense has a real chance to like be fun and engaging. Be
Yeah.
really interesting this year with Casey Hayward opposite of AJ Terrell. And the reason why I say that, I felt like at times I wondered to myself, was AJ getting the Prince of Mukamara treatment? Like that nobody was just throwing at him. Like, you knew you could complete a pass against Fabian Monroe or Deron Harmon or Eric Harris or whoever else. So you weren't really messing with AJ too much. Well, now you're going to have Casey Hayward on the other side. So, if AJ is who we think he is, like, we're in for some real fun quarterback play.
Yeah, especially if you get a healthy Isaiah Oliver. Now you
Ooh.
got 3 corners out there with 2 up and coming safeties, Doc. I don't know. We might have something in that secondary this
That
year.
secondary might be cooking, though. James says, "Congrats on 5K. Been with y'all from the beginning." Yes, you have, James, and we appreciate that. Marlon Cross says, "Let's beat the Saints while they're still getting their chemistry." Yes, sir, exactly. Like, in that first game, you're talking about like Jameis Winston coming back from injury. Marcus Colston coming, or not Colston, Michael Thomas. Marcus Colston, good Lord. Michael Thomas coming back from injury. Yeah, let's jump on them early. Oh, we made it again, fellas. We got some spam bot chat thing going on. That's how I know we made it. You know what I'm saying? Is when we got that
Spam
going
bots.
on, some spam. Good Lord, spam bots going on. Okay, think I got rid of them for a minute. D Sloan, our good buddy D says, "What's up, fellas? Congratulations. You guys' milestones are awesome." Well, we appreciate it, D. And I'd be remiss if we didn't I know they're not a part of the show anymore, but we couldn't be here where we are now without Jimmy and Mike stepping in the way they did the couple seasons ago, and we really hope that they're doing real good where they are. Their lives took them away from being able to join us, corporate ladder and that kind of stuff. So we just hope that they're faring real well.
Exactly.
Tony says, "Toby, I believe that Michael Walker is our best kept secret, and this year as a starter will explode and make the Pro Bowl. I also believe that Jalen Hawkins will get lots of picks. What are your thoughts on that?"
I'm excited about Michael Walker.
Yes, sir.
I'm very excited. I think he has an opportunity to get a whole lot more snap this
Yep.
year, especially if Deion Jones is not playing. So yeah, I'm excited about him for sure.
I'm
Yeah, and Jalen Hawkins, I'm already got my eye on him, man. He could end up with about 5 picks this season.
I do like the fact that the social media team is like presenting Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant. Like when they
Yes.
put that picture out and said young safeties, that actually made me smile because that tells me that the coaching staff is a little more uh, behind those guys. Because,
Step up.
right. So I expect some big things out of Richie Grant. Full season as a safety, and I expect some big things out of um, Jalen Hawkins. I'm a big fan of Jalen Hawkins. I liked him coming out of Cal when we drafted him.
Right now, it looks like Eric Harris is going to be the guy continuing to mentor and backing
I
up.
think so, and that's a good spot for him. Like bring him in if you want to do some three safety stuff, but if Isaiah Oliver's good to go, let them young safeties. You got to figure out what you got with those guys. J Dog says Rashawn Evans being familiar with P's scheme is a plus 100, and then Casey Hayward and AJ Terrell. I like it exactly, and Rashawn Evans being more the type of linebacker that Dean Pease is looking for and wanting. Now we just kind of hope he gets back into that form.
Yeah.
Uh, Josh Gillum says, "What's up? Congrats on the 5K. Thanks, Josh. We appreciate you." Hucklebuck says, "Can you give me your best theory of why we have been so bad in the red zone?" Um,
I'm so glad he brought that up. But go ahead, JR.
we actually got pretty good in the red zone for last year, better than we were the year before. For the first part of the season, when you lost Calvin Ridley, that made us way too predictable down there, and when you couldn't establish the run game. Uh, Also, like as much as it pains me to say it, as I'm the resident, Ryan stand, I guess you could say, uh, like Ryan just got too timid in the red zone. There were times when like you just wanted him just to grip it and rip it, and like he wouldn't do it. Like the guys had to be open. Like he didn't have like he was conservative in that aspect. He didn't want to make a mistake. In his mind, it almost seemed like he'd much rather settle for a field goal than make a mistake. And sometimes you need that opportunity for somebody to make a big play. You know,
Yeah.
and I think you're going to have that with Mariota and Ritter, but because they're going to be, I think they're going to be more willing to do what this coaching staff wants.
Let it go and trust their wide receivers to make plays. Um, do what they do, and then I think you'll see that more down there in the red zone, especially. Just hey, throw it. Let them do it. You got a big catch radius. Now this stuff does have to be practiced. You can't just be just throwing it just to be throwing it. This techniques and things have to be practiced,
Right.
to get in sync. And that's why you went and got a lot of wide receivers because you're trying to see which ones fit with Marcus Mariota and what Ritter does.
That's it. And I think Brian Edwards acquisition is going to pay dividends. I think that's going to be when they talked about being aggressive in the offseason in that wide receiver room. I think Brian Edwards is a guy that they were really high on. So let's see. You're going to keep it on moving. Where was I at? We're up here. Okay. Fall Start says defense will be feisty. I watched the Bills game recently. We gave them fits. Yes, we did, and I think the defense, takes a step forward underneath, under Pease, and ends up playing like more to league average, which would be a huge leap from where we were.
Yeah.
Isaiah, no, okay. King says he said I've been said Walker was the guy. Walker is the guy I'm high on. Willie Doc says, "Hey team, thanks for the Guru." Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there, Willie. You're welcome for whatever. Big Low Country is in chats. He says, "What in the world?" He said, "Congrats on 5K, my brothers. Love your content. Thank you, Big K or Big Low. We appreciate that." Let's see. Fred Butt says, I think Dion will start. We'll see. Like, if that shoulder was the real reason why he wasn't playing up to his standard last year, then hopefully he comes back and, uh, proves all of us wrong. But
I'm glad we brought up
go
Deion
ahead,
Jones
man.
again. Back to the red zone. If y'all have been looking at the numbers on paper, red zone defense looks pretty stout. Last year we were horrible in the red zone, and Dean Pease, this is one of his professions when his specialty being a good red zone defense. And right now, let me tell you something about Deion Jones. If you hadn't looked up the numbers, Deion Jones is one of the guys that gave up the most touchdowns, especially in the red zone.
Yep.
Five touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. You know how many touchdowns Rashaan Evans gave up? One.
Right. And Rashaan Evans is the one that gets a bad rap from, his linebacker play.
His red zone defense is on par.
Right. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it all lays out. Charleston Nash says he's got his Gradient AJ Terrell jersey. I got my Gradient custom jersey in yesterday. So that was nice. They can't cut or trade me. So I'll wear it. I'll wear that one. Let's see. Fallstar says Matt Ryan was the reason he gets scared down there. We'll see. Like, that's the way I felt. So it pained me to say it, but you got to say the good with the bad. Charleston Nash says, can y'all name one person that will shock people on the gridiron this season? My offensive player is Mariota. My defensive player guy is Jalen Hawkins. What's yours, Toby and JR? Toby, I'll let you go first. Who do you think is going to be the shocker this year?
I'm going Brian Edwards.
There you go.
I Brian Edwards is going to be a huge piece to the Atlanta Falcons offense. As far as defense goes, I'm going Taquan Graham.
Okay.
I think he is a guy to keep an eye on in the passing game and the run game.
Right.
I think he's a guy you want to pay attention to.
For me, I'm going to say on the offensive side, I'm going to go with Tyler Algier. I just got a real good feeling about his ability. Like, he's well suited for the run game, for the way that we want to run. Big physical guy. And so I think Tyler Algier is going to come in and ignite this run game in a way that we hadn't had in a while. And on defense, who I think is going to break out, I think is going to be Michael Walker.
Okay.
I think the absence of Deion Jones is going to force the coaching staff to take notice of Walker, and I think he's going to be a Swiss Army knife in that front seven. I think they're going to be sending him on blitzes, maybe even dropping into coverage like in that creeper style, where they could send Isaiah Oliver, like letting Walker replace Oliver, in coverage. So I think Michael Walker is going to be I think you're going to see that number 3 flashing everywhere. And that's what I'm excited about. Let's see. Ronnie says, I do believe Drake London will shine in the red zone this season. Think he can snag 7 or 8 touchdowns this year. Might be a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take at all. I think he can. I think he can definitely, get in that 6 to 8 touchdown range. Especially if it's a deal where Ritter and Mariota trust him to just throw the ball up there and let him go for it. So I don't think it's a hot take at all. Floyd Donnelly says, watch out for Anderson. I'm calling that one. Anderson, if I didn't go with the rookie on the offensive side, Anderson was going to be there too, because I think he's going to impress sooner rather than later.
Yeah. The fact that they had him on Kyle Pitts already as a rookie kind of tells me what they believe in Troy Anderson's skill set. So I think he's going to get a lot more playing time than most people would think.
Yep. Let's see. False Start says moving the pocket in the red zone is going to be key. I think it's going to help out quite a bit. And the threat of the QBs running in the red zone is going to be huge. I'd have to go back and look, but I know that Ryan Tannehill ran in quite a few touchdowns for Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number, but
The second year's
right. Tony Rice says, I also believe we can use Quadre Olison running in space. I was going to say Olison, but I figured y'all were going to laugh at me because he's kind of been my guy, and he ain't really giving me no reason to be my guy, but he's still my dude, and I hope he comes in and solidifies a position.
He could. It's wide open right now. I mean, I'm looking at Damian. You have me looking at Damian Williams in another way now.
All I'm saying about Damian Williams, my only concern, and people can come at me if they want to, and that's fine. If you're going to tout that Super Bowl season where he had almost 500 yards rushing, like almost 200 of those 500 came off of 2 runs. He had a 94-yard run and an 84-yard run. That's like almost half your production in 2 runs. And so you take those away, he's averaging 2.9 yards a carry. That's not good. Okay? I'm just saying I'm not expecting much out of Damian Williams. He may come in and be that third down back, catching out of the backfield kind of stuff. But I'm just not expecting him to come in and lead this stable. Let's see. King says, I think the big move this year will be more touchdowns from the QB, but less passing yards. And that's like, it could average out that way. Damsky, he got real excited when you called out his guy, Taquan Graham. So
I'm riding with him on that. He's been heavily promoted.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ride on the train with him.
And I mean, in his limited snaps last year, he did look real good. Big Low just tipped us $10, which we appreciate, Low. He said, just want to congratulate y'all on 5K and show some support and appreciation for my content brothers. There you go. Well, we appreciate that, Big. And I know a lot of y'all in the chat know Big Low Country, but if y'all don't, go check out his stuff too. He does a real good job, and he covers more than just the Falcons. He talks about a lot of the like NBA and all that other stuff. So, if you want a more like broader, not broader, but just, more extensive coverage, he does a lot on that kind of stuff as well. Fred Butt says, Toby, do you think the Falcons take more deep shots this year?
Yes, I do. Especially when they know they don't have to be as accurate with the type of receivers that they have. They can throw that thing up and let them do their thing. So I think they're gonna let it rip a lot more than what people think.
I think so too. Like, I mean, you saw it. They took it, in that 7-on-7, they took 2 or 3 deep shots. To Edwards, which got the crowd hyped, and then the one to Felipe Franks was a deep shot, and where Mariota threw the ball was probably about a 20 yards downfield when London went in and he threw it out. So, I think they are. I mean, because you also not accounting for, Damiere Byrd, Olamide Zaccheaus, and Batson, the guy that we just signed. He's another speedy guy. So, everybody's focusing on the big tower guys, and rightfully so. But we do have that speed element is there with guys like Zaccheaus and Byrd and Batson. So I think they're going to have a nice balance. Let's see here. Where was I at? Okay, Floyd Donnelly says the logo, not the player, always. Isaac says offense, I got Mariota, and defense, I got Hawkins. Those are both real good picks. Charleston says this is like a coin flip question from my previous answer. Can y'all name one player on offense and defense that you want to eat crow for what you've said about that player? I would love to be wrong about Deion Jones. Like, if you're going to be the highest paid player on this team, let me be wrong about him. Let me get back to like the Deion that we were all extremely excited about. The guy who was making the pick sixes and the impactful plays. Let me be wrong there. And then let me be wrong on Jalen Mayfield. Let me be wrong there. I would love to be wrong about him. I would love to, at the end of next season, somebody come up and say, CJ, I told you he'd work out. Because right now, no, I don't see it. What about you? What you got?
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, man. I'm going on record saying this. I want Marcus Mariota to make me eat crow.
There you go.
I'm not that high on him. He hasn't really done enough to really show me that he is the guy. I've been heavily promoting that Ritter should start week 1. So if he gets the start and he shines, make me eat that crow. Right. I think I know a restaurant they do
that does serve some crow.
Cook crow.
I got you.
They serve it. That is good. So if that's the case, I may have to go try some if Mariota can and make me eat crow. Right. On the defensive side of the ball, I would have to say, that's an interesting one. I'm not really. Oh, I know. Huh. Marlon Davis.
There you go. That's a good one. Hey, look. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. That dude is like that. That dude looks like what you want a football player to look like. When I saw him running across the field, I was like, "Holy crap! That is a large individual." So.
Yeah. But he has to play like.
That's right. That's right. That's that whole looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane kind of deal. So yeah, we want him to look like Tarzan and play like Tarzan. Yeah. So let's see. ATL GA Faithful says, "What's up, fam? What's going on, buddy?" Ray Fitty says, "What? Oh, he's talking to Coach Country." Damsky says, "Expectations for Richie Grant and D'Angelo Malone this year." Okay. Expectations for D'Angelo Malone. I'll start there because I think that's the easier question to answer. My expectations for D'Angelo Malone is to be involved in the rotation. Like, almost considered like a DPR, like a designated pass rusher. Like, them obvious, like, third and longs, those type deals. Let him get out there. I want D'Angelo Malone to be basically like focused on just killing the quarterback, so that's my expectation for D'Angelo Malone. Let him get out there and, get his feet wet in, attacking NFL offensive linemen, because he is coming from Western Kentucky. So he hasn't had to play consistently against this level of talent. He showed well at the Senior Bowl, but I want him to be able to get his feet wet there. And Richie Grant, like, I want him to lock down that safety spot. Like, show me that we picked you second overall and we were, or not second, but in the second round, and we were hyped. Like, show me that there's a reason for that. Like, be able to be that interchangeable safety that Dean Pease likes to use, whether it's up close in the box or covering the deep field, that single high, that's like, I want him to lock down that spot. That's my expectation for him this year. What you got, Toby?
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. When it comes to D'Angelo Malone, give me 3 sacks.
Right.
I'll take 3 sacks your rookie year. I mean, you taking in the 3rd round. Give me 3 sacks this year, and next year you can improve on that and get better. Show me that you can get sacks in this league.
Right.
Richie Grant, I want Richie Grant to be what he was in college. Give me that hard-hitting safety who can cover, single high and can play cover 2 as well, and just shows that he knows what he's actually doing.
Right.
He's already said he's comfortable this year. He's able to go out with the guys where last year he didn't feel he needed to do that because he needed to earn his spot. And this year he feels a little bit more comfortable. So let me see that comfortability shine this year. And if you give me 2 interceptions and knock some people out in the process, I'll take
right.
it.
Yep. I want some handful of interceptions. I want more than that. I'd love to see like some forced fumbles. Yes. Give us that Peanut Tillman, punch stuff going on. So that's what I would like. I want to see like Richie Grant show that he belongs. And that's exactly. Kind of what I'm looking at. Let's see. Billy says, does anyone have a clue about special teams? It is important as a whole. Well, I mean, you got Avery Williams back there returning. He looked good last year, returning kicks or returning punts. I wonder if they'll just give him the kicks and punts, kind of deal, and just take Cordell out off that altogether. It'd be interesting to see what they do there. But yeah, I mean, special teams looked decent enough last year, so I don't expect that to be much of a problem.
They look better than man. Coverage units, especially this year, you got some big, fast guys, man, that should be able to get down there and cover a lot of ground. And if they hit you, I'm expecting balls to come out.
Right, exactly.
Get hit by these guys this year, cause we got some guys, and nobody. Y'all been doing a great job with these questions tonight, and
they doing good.
Special teams, that got me excited.
Well, Bigelow says, who do you think will be the starting nose tackle in the 3-4? Right now, I say it's Anthony Rush. That's who I'm thinking right now. Like, unless they bring in an Eddie Goldman, or unless, Taquan Graham shows that he can play that as well. Right now, my money's on Rush. Is what I think. And then, like, on the starting side, you have like a true 3-4. You'd have Rush and either Marlon Davidson, Taquan Graham, and then Grady Jarrett. Like, is how I see that. And then with, Lorenzo Carter standing up in that 2-point stance. Because that's kind of what you saw. I put a clip out there. You had, Carter standing up, 2-point stance, and then Grady was playing the left defensive end. Rush was in the middle, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was Davison on the right defensive end. But that video is on my Twitter. So if y'all follow me, Fred Buzz says, "What do y'all expect from AK-47?" I expect like 5-6 sacks at AK. I expect him to, really either. I expect him to be pushed for playing time with Ogundeji. That's where I think I'm at. What about you?
You using the name Dr. Rush? Doc, you better get it this year because you're putting a heavy expectation on yourself. When any DR period is in there, you better get it cracking.
Yeah, so you better. That's it.
I want him to live to the name that he is tagging himself with, Dr. Rush. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's some high expectation. That's almost I'm gonna cut my dreads off if I don't get 10 sacks expectation.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm just saying.
Go there.
Let's see.
He's still out there on the market.
Well, yeah, of course, because he's got like no shoulders. It's hard to be a pass rusher when you ain't got shoulders.
Well, now you can probably play with Rodney. I ain't gonna let's
go. Quint Braun says, how many rushing touchdowns do you think the rookie running back will have? I don't know. He had 23 last year at BYU. He was second in the all FBS with rushing touchdowns. If done right, I'd say 10 or maybe 10. I'll be a little conservative and say he breaks double digits.
I agree. Yeah.
Yep, I think that's a safe assumption, but we'll see. It's going to be a lot on that line, Bradley Burnett says, late to the party. What's up, guys? What's going on, Bradley? That's all right. Hey, if you're a little bit late, that's okay. They got an archive situation. You can go back and rewatch and rewind. But, man, I think that about wraps it up for us, really. We've been a little bit over an hour, taking a lot of y'all's questions. If y'all got one last question or two, go ahead and throw them in the chat as we're wrapping it up. We'll answer them for you. As always, y'all can, keep an eye on the channel as we put out, breakdown videos or solo content. I'm always trying to get, coaches or players or whoever to, come on and do an interview with us. So, if you like, we have a handful of Patreons, and so we're starting to put out a little bit more like behind the scenes type content. So, if y'all want access to that, just go over to Patreon and hook it up. All right, we got a few little last minute questions coming in. I knew I'd give y'all some time. Y'all would hit me with something. Fred Butt says, do you think Ritter plays at all this year? Yes, I do. I may be in a situation where Mariota gets hurt, but I think that they would be doing themselves a disservice not to play Ritter and see what they have in him before next year's draft. Toby, what do you think about that?
Marcus plays a very hard style of football.
Right.
And so it's no guarantee he will make it 17 games with the kind of style that he plays with. And it could be a miracle and he does make it. But
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Bigelow says, besides A.J. Terrell, who will be the best in the secondary? I'm going to say Isaiah Oliver. Isaiah Oliver is going to be who we're talking about. So, what you think, Toby?
I'm going Jalen Hawkins.
There you go. I like it. Dansky with the important question. He said, who is the best looking guy on Twitter and why is it Dansky? Well, it's Dansky because he's, from Canada and he's very polite and, that just the warm smiling face is always there on Twitter. So that's why it's Dansky. I don't think I could answer that any other way. He didn't give me any wiggle room. Anyway, GA Faithful says, how many touchdowns for Patterson? I'm going to go double digit, but that's combined. That's, I'm going to go double digit, and that's receiving and rushing. So, all right, folks. As always, y'all can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. That's GRIMM1128. Toby?
Toby D 1991 all day.
That's right. And if we may have you blocked on Twitter, if that's the case, it may be because y'all are posting some crazy stuff. So just throwing that out there. Love y'all. Really do. Real Pat Man says, just dropping by, say congrats. Appreciate that, Neek. Thank you for the congrats there. I'm going to have to get you on the show one day with all the analytics you be doing. Anyway, y'all take care. And as always, Falcons fans, rise up.